I'm looking through the notes in one of the journals I keep here, and I'm looking at some of my past goals and things like that, and I'm looking at some things that I've accomplished, but a whole lot um, that I didn't accomplish, and some daily entries and things like that. And I guess what I'm trying to do right now is understand kind of the behavioral patterns in myself that led to more productivity and good times, and less productivity and bad times. And I think one of the conclusions I'm coming to is that the least productive times in my life are times when I got myself so wrapped up and focused on a single negative thing that it almost infected everything else I was doing. Whether it was problems with a girl, or it was problems with paying a bill, or issues with self-esteem having to do with the fact that I have ulcerative colitis. But just little factors that kind of got me, I guess for lack of a better word, depressed, and gave me tunnel vision where I couldn't see beyond that one negative thing to see the world of opportunity that was out there for me at the time. And if I had just gone beyond writing about that negative thing and wrote about all the good things going for me and things I should focus on, then I probably could have gotten out of it a little bit faster than I did. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a really good practice that I have. I'm always talking about being grateful, and realizing the opportunities that you have right now in your life. Because when we focus too much on the past, or focus too much on the negative, what happens to us is we get that tunnel vision. All we can see is the bad. All we can see is that the world is against us. We're the center of the universe, and the entire universe is aligned against us. But when you start to write down all the good things you have in your life and all the things you can be grateful for, you realize that that one little thing that's bothering you is just a little thing. It might seem big to you at the moment, but the reality is it's not holding you back as much as you think it is. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, many years ago now, I'm getting old. Many years ago, I suffered a really big heartbreak. A girl I was dating for 5 years left me for a friend of mine, and it ripped me in half. They got married, and I was still living in my hometown at the time. And so I said to myself, I can either sit here and watch this for the rest of my life, or I can move. But it took years for me to do that. It took me a while to do that. And eventually I just let go, and I moved out here to California, started a new life. I was kind of running away from the situation, but ended up getting myself into grad school and doing things out here. But still, I was so depressed, and I had no real way of getting over it. Rather than being like, oh man, I just moved out to this new and awesome place and really enjoying myself and trying to get to know other people, I kind of enclosed myself. But if I took a moment to look around, if I took a moment to understand what I was doing, I could have overcome years of isolation I locked myself up and hid away in grad school for years before I actually came to a decision to actually do anything with my life. Now, I look back on it, I'm like, it was this little thing. It was a relationship. Yeah, it was a good relationship, an important relationship to me at least, but I let it ruin my life. I let one little thing ruin my life. It didn't ruin my entire life, but it ruined it for that time period. Years that I can't get back. And it kept going until I went to Greece one year and I looked around at the ruins near the site of the Oracle at Delphi, and this is a place where people had come, and people who were living and breathing just like you and me, and I looked around and I realized that those people are gone. They all had worries, they all had breakups, they all had heartbreaks just like I did, but now they're gone. They're dead, they can't come back. And what I realized about life at that moment is this: it's short. At best, if you're lucky, you have 70 to 80 years on this earth. If you're in the military and you served in combat, you probably know people who got to be on this earth a lot shorter than we have been lucky enough to be. And what comes to your mind when you think about that is, who the hell are we to be unhappy? What right do we have to be unhappy? What right do we have not to be productive while we're here? We've been given a gift of life, the opportunity to do whatever we want to. And we live in one of the greatest times on earth. A time when you can go on your smartphone, look anything up. A time when you can reach thousands of people just by a few clicks of your thumb. And yet we're unhappy. And I don't think we have a right to be unhappy. I think it's our obligation to do everything we can to make the most out of this life. I think it's our obligation to make the most out of every day. And so that's why I work so hard. That's why I put everything on the line to build my dream. Because anything less is an insult to humanity as a whole. It's an insult to everybody we know who didn't get to live as long as we did. And it's an insult to ourselves. So, sorry this is all over the place. Comes from the heart though. And I say it all out of love. And hope you're all having a great day. And I hope that this inspires you to do something.